And now let's go live across to Hyderabad House in New Delhi, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Prime Minister of Singapore,
joint statements and a virtual inauguration. First, we witnessed the exchange of the joint statement on roadmap for a comprehensive strategic partnership and the Reserve Bank and an agreement between the Reserve Bank of India and the Monetary Authority of Singapore on digital assets innovation. We will have the exchanges on the Singapore side, Dr. Vivian Balakrishna, Minister for Foreign Affairs. On the Indian side, Dr. S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister of India. The two documents, please. Thank you, Ministers. We next have the exchange of Memorandum of Understanding between India and Singapore concerning cooperation on a green and digital shipping corridor. This will be exchanged on the Singapore side by Mr. Jeffrey Thao, Acting Minister for Transport and Senior Minister of State for Finance, Singapore, and Shri Sarbanand Sonowal, Honorable Minister of Port, Shipping and Waterways, India. Thank you, Ministers. We next have the exchange of Memorandum of Understanding between Airports Authority of India and the Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore for training, research and development in the field of civil aviation. This will be exchanged on the Singapore side by the High Commissioner of Singapore to India, Mr. Simon Wong, and on the Indian side by Shri Samir Kumar Sinha, Secretary Civil Aviation. Thank you, gentlemen. We next have the exchange of Memorandum of Understanding between the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, India, and the Ministry of Trade Industry, Republic of Singapore, for establishing a National Center on Excellence for Skilling in Advanced Manufacturing at the National Skill Training Institute, Chennai. This will be exchanged on the Singapore side by the High Commissioner of Singapore, Mr. Simon Wong, and on the Indian side by Shri Vikram Misri, Foreign Secretary. Thank you, gentlemen. We next have the exchange of Memorandum of Understanding between Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center and the Economic Development Board, Office of Space Technology and Industry, Singapore, on promoting collaboration in space sector. This will be exchanged on the Singapore side by Mr. Jonathan Hung, Executive Director, Austin, and on the Indian side by Shri P. Kumran, Secretary, East. Thank you, gentlemen. Taking forward Prime Minister Modi's vision for port-led development, we shall now witness the joint virtual inauguration of Jawaharlal Nehru Port PSA Mumbai Terminal BMCT Phase 2, which will be followed by introduction of a video on JN Port. Prime Ministers, may I request you to press the button and unveil the digital plaque.
India's maritime journey is a story of transformation, anchored in the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's vision of port-led development. Over the last 11 years, this vision has reshaped our coastline, boosted cargo movement, and placed India firmly on the global maritime map.
Ports for prosperity और ports for progress का हमारा विजन धरातल पर लगातार बदलाव ला रहा। दुनिया के बड़े-बड़े मैरीटाइम ऑपरेटर्स भारत आए, भारत से ही ऑपरेट करें, इसके लिए भी भारत में तेजी से काम हो रहा है।
As part of this ongoing momentum, today we mark a new milestone, the inauguration of Phase 2 of Bharat Mumbai Container Terminals at JN Port, India's largest container port. India and Singapore share a trusted maritime partnership built on shared ambition and global vision. Together, we advance green shipping, smart port operations, and regional prosperity. Embracing these relationships, JNPA, India's best performing port, now also stands as the nation's largest container port, handling over 10 million containers annually and connecting India to the world. Strategically located in Navi Mumbai, JNPA integrates road, rail and the western dedicated freight corridor, ensuring swift cargo movement to key industrial hubs. PSA Mumbai, with its advanced yard systems, dedicated freight corridor, renewable energy operations with state-of-the-art technology and smart operations, sets the benchmark in smart, sustainable cargo handling. This partnership reflects a trusted maritime bond between India and Singapore, built on shared ambition and global vision. JNPA and PSA Mumbai, empowering Viksit Bharat, one container at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the exchange ceremony, and I request the spokesperson to take the proceedings forward.
Namaskar, good afternoon, Your Excellency Mr. Lawrence Wong, Prime Minister of the Republic of Singapore, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, Honorable Ministers, members of both delegations, distinguished guests, and friends from the media. We will now have the press statements. May I request Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, to give his remarks to the media.
Your Excellency, प्रधानमंत्री वांग, दोनों देशों के डेलीगेट्स, मीडिया के साथियों, नमस्कार। पदभार संभालने के बाद प्रधानमंत्री वांग की पहली भारत यात्रा पर मैं उनका हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। यह यात्रा और भी विशेष है क्योंकि इस वर्ष हम अपने संबंधों की 60वीं वर्षगांठ मना रहे हैं। फ्रेंड्स, पिछले साल मेरी सिंगापुर यात्रा के दौरान हमने अपने संबंधों को कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप का दर्जा दिया था। इस एक वर्ष में हमारे संवाद और सहयोग में गति और गहराई आई है। आज साउथ ईस्ट एशिया क्षेत्र में सिंगापुर हमारा सबसे बड़ा ट्रेड पार्टनर है। सिंगापुर से भारत में बड़े स्तर पर निवेश हुआ है। हमारे रक्षा संबंध निरंतर मजबूत हो रहे हैं। पीपल टू पीपल संबंध गहरे और जीवंत है। आज हमने अपनी पार्टनरशिप के भविष्य के लिए एक डिटेल्ड रोड मैप तैयार किया है। हमारा सहयोग केवल पारंपरिक क्षेत्रों तक सीमित नहीं रहेगा। बदलते समय के अनुरूप एडवांस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, ग्रीन शिपिंग, स्किलिंग, सिविल न्यूक्लियर और अर्बन वाटर मैनेजमेंट जैसे क्षेत्र भी हमारे सहयोग के केंद्र बिंदु बनेंगे। हमने निर्णय लिया है कि आपसी व्यापार को गति देने के लिए द्विपक्षीय कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक कोऑपरेशन एग्रीमेंट और आसियान के हमारे फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट का समयबद्ध तरीके से रिव्यू किया जाएगा। भारत और सिंगापुर के रिश्तों में हमारे राज्य भी अहम हिस्सेदार होंगे। जनवरी में जब राष्ट्रपति थर्मन भारत यात्रा पर आए थे तो वे ओडिशा भी गए थे। पिछले एक साल में ओडिशा, तेलंगाना, आसाम और आंध्र प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री सिंगापुर जा चुके हैं। गुजरात का गिफ्ट सिटी हमारे स्टॉक मार्केट को जोड़ने का एक और नया सेतु बना है। फ्रेंड, पिछले साल हुए सेमीकंडक्टर इकोसिस्टम पार्टनरशिप समझौते ने रिसर्च और डेवलपमेंट को भी नई दिशा दी है। सेमिकॉन इंडिया कॉन्फ्रेंस में सिंगापुर की कंपनियों उनका बढ़ चढ़ करके हिस्सा लेना, ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात थी। चेन्नई में सिंगापुर का एक नेशनल सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस फॉर स्किलिंग स्थापित करने में सहयोग देगा। यह सेंटर एडवांस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के क्षेत्र में स्किल्ड मैन पावर तैयार करेगा। फ्रेंड्स, टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन हमारी साझेदारी के मजबूत स्तंभ है। हमने तय किया है कि एआई, क्वांटम और अन्य डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजीज में सहयोग को बढ़ाया जाएगा। आज स्पेस सेक्टर में हुए समझौते से अंतरिक्ष विज्ञान क्षेत्र सहयोग में एक नया अध्याय जुड़ रहा है। हमने निर्णय लिया है कि हमारे युवाओं को उनके टैलेंट को जोड़ने के लिए इस साल के अंत में इंडिया सिंगापुर हैकाथॉन का अगला राउंड किया जाएगा। यूपीआई और पे नाउ हमारे डिजिटल कनेक्टिविटी के सफल उदाहरण है और ये प्रसन्नता का विषय है कि इसमें 13 नए भारतीय बैंक जुड़े हैं। आज ग्रीन एंड डिजिटल शिपिंग कॉरिडोर्स के लिए हुए समझौते से मैरीटाइम सेक्टर में ग्रीन फ्यूल सप्लाई चेन और डिजिटल पोर्ट क्लियरेंस को बल मिलेगा। भारत अपने पोर्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के विकास में तेजी से काम कर रहा है। इसमें सिंगापुर का अनुभव अत्यंत उपयोगी है। आज हमने सिंगापुर की कंपनी एसपीए इंटरनेशनल द्वारा विकसित भारत मुंबई कंटेनर टर्मिनल फेज 2 का उद्घाटन किया। यह हमारे कंटेनर हैंडलिंग की क्षमता को और बढ़ाएगा। फ्रेंड्स, सिंगापुर हमारी एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी का एक महत्वपूर्ण स्तंभ है। हम आसियान के साथ सहयोग और इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र में शांति और स्थिरता के जॉइंट विजन को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए मिलकर काम करते रहेंगे। आतंकवाद को लेकर हमारी समान चिंताएं हैं। हम मानते हैं कि आतंकवाद के खिलाफ एकजुटता से लड़ना सभी मानवतावादी देशों का कर्तव्य है। पहलगाम में हुए आतंकवादी हमले के बाद भारत के लोगों के प्रति संवेदना और आतंकवाद के खिलाफ हमारी लड़ाई में समर्थन के लिए मैं प्रधानमंत्री वोंग और सिंगापुर सरकार का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। एक्सेलेंसी, आवर रिलेशंस go far beyond diplomacy. This is a partnership with purpose, rooted in shared values, guided by mutual interests and driven by a common vision for peace, progress and prosperity. हमारी इस भागीदारी में आपकी निजी प्रतिबद्धता के लिए मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request His Excellency Mr. Lawrence Wong, Prime Minister of the Republic of Singapore, to give his remarks to the media.
Your Excellency Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Prime Minister Modi, for the warm and gracious hospitality extended to me and my delegation. 10 years ago, I joined then President Tony Tan on his state visit to commemorate the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties between Singapore and India. Today, 10 years later, I'm glad to be back on my first official visit as Prime Minister and to celebrate 60 years of close and enduring friendship between our two countries. Over this past decade, India has made remarkable advances under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. India is now the fourth largest economy in the world, with a dynamism and influence felt far beyond its borders. Our bilateral relationship has grown in tandem. Singapore is the largest foreign investor in India, accounting for around a quarter of India's foreign direct investment inflows. And our cooperation now spans a wide and diverse range of fields. Last year, PM Modi and I agreed to elevate relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership, or a CSP. This morning, we had fruitful discussions on how we can take this CSP forward. The Prime Minister has highlighted quite a number of areas, and I will reiterate a few of them. First, Singapore will continue to support India's skills development journey. We are honored to accept India's invitation to be a global partner for the National Center of Excellence in Chennai, which will focus on advanced manufacturing. We will also collaborate with India to set up state-level skills centers to meet industry needs in sectors like aviation, maintenance, repair and overhaul, and semiconductors. Second, we will expand cooperation in manufacturing and industrial development. Singapore companies are keen to develop sustainable industrial parks in India to support India's manufacturing ambitions. At the same time, we will deepen collaboration in semiconductors, not just in skills training, but also in R&D, supply chains, and logistics. And these efforts will generate new growth opportunities for both our countries. Third, we will strengthen connectivity across the air, sea, and digital domains. This morning, we exchanged an MoU on cooperation in training, research, and development in civil aviation. This will support the growth of our aviation sectors, facilitate trade and tourism, and create more commercial opportunities. On the maritime side, we just launched Phase 2 of PSA's Bharat Mumbai container terminal in Navi Mumbai, which will become India's largest standalone container terminal. And beyond physical links, we are also enhancing digital connectivity between our financial systems. Our central banks have exchanged an MoU on digital asset innovation, and we are discussing ways to further enhance cross-border data flows and capital market linkages, including through regulatory sandboxes that would allow us to test bed new innovations. Fourth, we will expand cooperation in frontier areas like space. To date, more than 20 Singapore-made satellites have been launched by India. Through the MoU on promoting collaboration in the space sector, we will broaden this partnership and push the boundaries of what we can achieve together. Finally, Prime Minister Modi and I reaffirmed that people-to-people ties remain the bedrock of our relationship. We agreed to enhance exchanges, including through closer civil service cooperation. All of these initiatives reflect the breadth and depth of our CSP. And to guide our efforts, PM Modi and I have also agreed on a roadmap, an ambitious and detailed roadmap to chart the next phase of our relationship. In a world marked by great uncertainty and turbulence, the partnership between India and Singapore becomes even more important, because this is a partnership rooted in shared values, mutual respect, and a deep reservoir of trust. We can draw strength from our shared history and the friendship and trust between our peoples. And together we can strengthen resilience, seize new opportunities, and contribute to stability and growth in our region and beyond. So I look forward to working hand in hand with Prime Minister Modi to bring the Singapore-India partnership to even greater heights in the years ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. That concludes the press statements. Thank you.
And there you saw the press statement delivered by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and then after by Prime Minister of Singapore, who is on an official visit to India. And both of them talked about various bilateral ties, people-to-people ties, and how important the strategic partnership is for both the countries. Under the Act East policy, Singapore becomes a very important nation for India. It is not only about the bilateral ties, but it is also about trade and other segments that both of them talked about, both the leaders talked about. And apart from that, several key MoUs were also exchanged between both the countries here at the press statement in Hyderabad House in New Delhi. And both the leaders also talked about the 60 years of bilateral relationship between India and Singapore and how fruitful they have been over the years. And apart from that, several key MoUs were exchanged. And they also talked about the several key projects that are currently underway in Navi Mumbai of India. And apart from that, what is the forward-looking roadmap when they talk about India and Singapore and its bilateral relationship, enhancing it further and taking it forward. And apart from that, both the countries also pledged to fight terrorism together. We would remember that how the Pahalgam terror attack was condemned by the entire world and not just the nation. And it was time and again pressed by various ministers also under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And there was an outreach program as well related to that. And once again, the attack has been condemned by the Singaporean Prime Minister as well. And he talked about terrorism and how India and Singapore stands hand in hand when it comes to terrorism and countering such acts that are related to terrorism. And apart from that, trade was the key agenda that both of them talked about during the press statement that both of them delivered at Hyderabad House in New Delhi. And Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, he earlier held bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with his entire delegate, where a delegation level talk also took place at the Hyderabad House in New Delhi. And after that, the key MoUs were exchanged, and post that the press statement was delivered where both the sides talked about each other's business areas, areas of cooperation and areas of further exploration when it comes to trade talks, when it comes to cultural ties, when it comes to people exchanges as well. And apart from that, Prime Minister Wong also met External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar earlier in the day today and held delegation level talk. Now after this, Prime Minister Wong is expected to call on India's President Draupadi Murmu as well.